Hello friends, welcome to the Point. In today's session, we'll be discussing about development. Development, it also means progress. So this idea of development, it has always been with us. So we have certain desires about our life, how we should live and what to do for that and all those things. Similarly, we have ideas about what a country should look like and what are the essential things that we require. Can life be better for all the people in our country? So this comes under development, means how our country gets developed for the betterment of the people. In this chapter, we'll understand what exactly is development. So now let us try to imagine what development or progress is likely to mean to different persons. So this is a category of person. A landless rural laborer, what will be his goals for development? So his goal will be more days of work and a better wages, because he'll earn a very little wage, so he's thinking for a better wage. So that will be his development. So since it is a rural area, he is also thinking that development or aspiration means local school is able to provide quality education for their children and there is no social discrimination and they too can become leaders in the village. Landless rural laborers, they think these are the development of a country. Prosperous farmers from Punjab. So these people think assured a high family income through higher support price for their crops and through hard working and cheap laborers. So these people, they need cheap laborers so that they can save more and more money and they should be able to settle their children in abroad. So this will be the dream or aspiration of a prosperous farmer from any part of our country. So similarly, also imagine a girl from a rich urban family. So what is her aspiration is, she gets much freedom as her brother gets. And she is able to decide what she wants to do in the life. And she is able to pursue her studies in abroad also. From this, we can say that all the persons will not have the same notion of development and each one of them seeks different things. People seek things that are most important for them, that is, which can fulfill their aspirations or desires. So from this, two things are clear. First is different persons can have different developmental goals. And the second thing is, what may be development for one, it will not be or it may not be development for the other. So development of one, it can also be a destructive for the other. Income and other goals. We can notice one common thing from the previous example. What people desire is a regular work, better wages and a decent price for their crops or manufacturing products or any other thing. In general, in a simple manner, we can say that all the people want more income. So beside seeking for more income, one way or the other, people also seek things like equal treatment, freedom, security and respect of others. So all these are important goals. In fact, in some cases, this may be more important than more income or more consumption, because material goods are not all that you need to live. So money or the material thing that one can buy is one factor on which our life depends. But the quality of our life, it also depends on non-material things like equal treatment, freedom, security, respect and so on. So like this, there are many things which cannot be measured easily, but they mean a lot to our life and most often they are being ignored also. So let's try to understand this concept with another example also. Suppose you got a very good job in a very far place, which is very far from your native place. But before accepting the job, you will consider many factors. How far that working place is from your home, what will be the working atmosphere, will that atmosphere suit you, do you have any opportunities to learn from the job? If all this is okay for you, then you will think about salary, how much the company offers you and all those things. So if they pay high, you move for the job, else you mostly won't opt for the job. Similarly, for development, people look at a mix of goals, and it is true that if women are engaged in paid work, their dignity in the household and society increases. And it is also the case that if there is respect for women, there would be more sharing of housework and a greater acceptance of women working outside. A safe and a secure environment, it may allow more women to take up a variety of jobs or run a business. Hence, the developmental goals that people have are not only about better income, but it is also about other important things in life. National development. So, individuals seek different goals, and their notion of national development will also be different. Your notion about national development will not be same as your friend's idea. It is very important to keep in mind that the different persons could have different as well as conflicting notions of a country's development. How to compare different countries or states? So you might think that if development can mean different things, how come some countries are generally called developed countries and others are called developing countries and some others underdeveloped countries? How can you divide these countries as developed, developing and underdeveloped? So when we compare different things, they could have similarities as well as differences. For suppose, how do we compare different students? So these students, they differ in their talent, they differ in their height, weight, health, and different students have different interests. So in this way we can compare the students. The healthiest student, he may not be the most studious one, and the most intelligent students, he may not be friendliest one. So the criterion we use, it depends on the purpose of comparison. So we use different criteria to choose a sports team, a debate team, a music team, and so on. So above all this, we usually take one or more important characteristics of a person and compare them based on this characteristics. Suppose you think you need a characteristic of a student, one who knows to paint well. So you won't see his education, his height, his friendliness, nature, creativity, nothing. But you just see whether that student is able to sketch a good painting. So this is true for development. For comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attributes. So the countries with higher income, they are more developed than the others with less income. So this is based on the understanding that more income means more of all things that human beings need, and whatever people like and should have, they will be able to get with greater income. So greater income itself is considered to be one of the important goal. The income of the country is the income of all the residents of the country. So this gives us the total income of the country. So for comparison between the countries, the total income is not such an useful measure, since countries, they have a different populations. So comparing total income will not tell us what an average person is likely to earn. Hence, we compare average income, which is total of the country divided by total population. So, the average income is also called per capita income. So, in World Development Reports, which is brought out by World Banks, so this criterion, it is used in classifying countries. And countries with per capita income of 12,236 US dollar per annum and more than this in the year 2016 were called as rich countries, and those with per capita income of 1,005 US dollar or less, they are called as low income countries. So India comes in the category of low middle income countries because its per capita income in 2016 was just 1,840 US dollars per annum. So the rich countries, excluding countries of Middle East and certain other small countries, they are generally called developed countries. Income and other criteria. So when we look at individuals' goal, we found that people not only think of better income, but also they have a goals like security, respect, equal treatment, freedom in their minds. And similarly, when we think of a nation or a region, beside average income, we should think of other equally important attributes also. So what could be this attribute? This table shows per capita income of 3 states, Haryana, Kerala and Bihar. So actually these figures are of per capita net domestic product at current prices of 2015-16. So roughly we can take it to the per capita annum of the state. So we find that of the three, Haryana has the highest per capita income and Bihar is lowest. This means on an average a person in Haryana he earned 1,62,034 rupees in 1 year, whereas in Bihar a person earned only 34,168 per annum. So if per capita income were to be used as a measure of development, Haryana will be considered as the most developed and Bihar will be the least developed state. Public facilities. A question arises here. How is that the average person in Haryana has more income than the average person in Kerala, but he lags behind in these crucial areas? The reason is money in your pocket, it cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. So income by itself is not completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. For example, normally your money cannot buy you pollution free environment. So or it cannot ensure you that you get unadulterated medicines unless you can afford to shift to a community that already has all these things. So money may not be able to protect you from infectious disease unless the whole of your community takes preventive steps. Actually, for many of the important things in the life, the best way, also the cheapest way is to provide these goods and services collectively. So just imagine, will it be cheaper to have a collective security for the whole locality or for each house to have its own security man? Obviously, for a collective security, it will be cheaper. Kerala, it has a low infant mortality rate because it has adequate provisions of basic health and educational facilities. And similarly, in some states, the public distribution system functions well. Health and nutritional status of people of such states is certainly likely to be better. Many improvements have been suggested in calculating Human Development Index, and many new components have been added to Human Development Report by prefixing human to development, and it has made it very clear that what is important in development is what is happening to citizens for a country, and it is people, their health, their well-being that is most important. Sustainability of development. Suppose for the present a particular country is a quite developed country, so we would certainly like this level of development to go up further, or at least it should be maintained for future generations. So this is desirable. However, since the second half of the 12th century, a number of scientists have been warning that the present type and levels of development, they are not sustainable. So for example, we can take groundwater, so which is a renewable resources, and these resources, they are replenished by nature as in the case of crops and plants, and even these resources may be overused. For example, in the case of groundwater, if we use more than what is being replenished by rain, then we would be overusing this resource. Non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after years of use. So we have such fixed stock on the earth which cannot be replenished. So we discover new resources that we did not know earlier, and new sources in this way it adds to the stock. And however, over time even this will get exhausted. So consequences of environmental degradation It do not respect national or state boundaries, and this issue is no longer region or nation specific. Our future, it is linked together. Sustainability of development is comparatively a new area of knowledge where scientists, economists, philosophers, and other social scientists are working together for it. So, in general, the question of development or progress, it is perennial in nature, and at all the times, as a member of society and as an individual, we need to ask where we want to go, what we wish to become, and what our goals are. So, the debate on development, it continues. So, in the next session, let's discuss about sectors of the Indian economy. Thank you.